But you know what? One of the traditions we do is we go to my buddy Smitty's house, Camping Smitty, whose brother
What's his
Todd.
nickname?
Huh?
His nickname. They all get nicknames, don't they? Which one's
Yeah,
the general, the doctor?
Yeah, he's the doctor.
Oh, the doctor, okay.
You know why he's the doctor?
Because he's a doctor?
No. No, because sexually, he was the one who always told us things we needed to know about how to please. So he became the doctor. But his brother is Todd, who was my closest friend when we first met, and he's the one who saves rainwater to flush his toilet.
All right.
Yeah, very practical people.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to BonFireTalks with Mark Wahlberg. That's me. That's you. We are here, and we are collectively surviving yet another holiday season. Although it shouldn't be surviving, Caelan. Caelan Bean is also here. Hi, Kay.
Hey, it shouldn't be, but unfortunately kind of is.
Often is, especially if you're head of a household. There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And a big household, but a big family.
Yeah. And so I have a lot of feelings about this. One is my dedication this holiday season, and this may actually be dropping after Christmas, but so consider it a postmortem. But nonetheless, is that I realized for years I've had a pattern, which is deny that Christmas is coming, hate everything I have to do to make it good for everyone, although there's no expectation from those people. And then in the days before the holiday, I suddenly get all in the spirit and I'm buying things and it's let's have fun. Everybody's like, fuck you. You know, you've been an asshole for a month now and now you're going to try to resurrect this. And so this year I'm not doing that. I told Robbie, the first thing was I'm like, here's all the money you need to go do all the things you want. And I don't care. Uh-huh. Money is fake. That's Goldie's favorite phrase. Money is fake. Uh-huh. And so, yeah, it's been and is going to be and is a terrific holiday. Although I've been thinking a lot about this. I'm Jewish. I grew up without Christmas. We didn't do Christmas at all. Robbie's calling. Do I take it?
Yeah, just make sure you hold that. Put it on speaker and put it right up on the mic.
Okay.
Couldn't hear on.
You're on speaker and we're recording. Hi, honey.
Hi, honey. How's it going?
I always get happy, Robbie, if I tell you first that you're being recorded. Where are you and what's going on? Anything I need to know?
Not a thing.
Okay. Quick.
Except that I love you and was checking in.
Well, I'm podcasting and I love you too. And quick take on this. Hot take. Which is better? Hanukkah or Christmas?
Well, Hanukkah is all about miracles, and I love that, that it's all about miracles. But I must admit, opening a bunch of presents all at one time is a hell of a lot more fun than, celebrating
Yes.
each day, of Hanukkah.
I concur.
So, you know what I say? I say you got to do both.
You got to do both. Great. That's good news for me. All right. That's it. I love you. I'll be home soon.
Love you too.
Bye.
Goodbye.
There you have it, folks. And I will expound on that. So I grew up Jewish. We didn't have a Christmas tree. We didn't do Christmas at all. We did Hanukkah, right? And I also came from a household that didn't have a lot of money. So Hanukkah for us was one present a night.
Yeah.
So if Grandma and Grandpa gave you a present, their present was one night, not Mom and Dad gave you one and Grandpa gave you one. You know what I mean? It was like that. So my hot take, which isn't so hot, is that Christmas is far greater than Hanukkah. Not for religious reasons, but I will break that down. But you said that you were raised around a lot of Jewish people?
I grew up without religion. We had Christmas, but all my friends were Jewish.
Got it.
Best friend was Jewish. All the kids I went to school with were Jewish.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with Jewish culture.
Got it. So, and I'm really speaking only culturally, so don't spin out on the religious stuff because then I'll have to tell you that the entire Christmas thing comes out of a pagan celebration of solstice. But go ahead and enjoy it, and keep the reason for the season if it works for you. But my experience has been, I have been able to, first of all, I was Jewish in the Deep South, so I was an anomaly. And everywhere around me was hardcore Christmas. And I was essentially, as a child, being denied Christmas to do Hanukkah. And we didn't even do Hanukkah up the way the real Jews do it. So we would light candles and we'd open a present. Here's the problem with Hanukkah. We'll break that down first. And then we'll talk about what's great about Christmas. So Hanukkah is the 8 nights of Hanukkah, and the concept is each night your family gets together and you light a candle and then you open a present or two.
Is there a theme between the different days?
No, that's Kwanzaa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know as much about Jewish culture.
No, I think you know as much as most
They
Jews
should
do.
theme the days. That would be fun.
By the way, if you talk to hardcore Jews, they will tell you that Hanukkah is first not religious and maybe made up, because it's the only holiday in Jewish culture that celebrates a war victory, right? So it's not even a spiritual thing. The whole legend of Hanukkah is that, when being under siege, and I don't remember in what part of time, but they're under siege and they only had enough oil to light the lamp to keep lights on for one night, and that miraculously lasted 8 nights, and that's the 8 nights of Hanukkah. In my opinion, it was a construct invented in response to Christmas, so we have something to do. But here are some fundamental problems. If I were to do it over, I would rewrite how Hanukkah is celebrated, because it's kind of not great for the kids. So things that are great about it: latkes.
I was about to say.
Potato pancakes, for those of you who don't know. That's the traditional food you eat at Hanukkah, and it makes you feel terrible, but they're delicious. And
some sour cream on there.
Sour cream or applesauce. There's 2 camps. I'm a sour cream guy. I feel you. Applesauce doesn't feel right, but nonetheless, that's a great thing. A thing I later learned that's kind of comes more out of the Israeli world, but is a Jewish thing, is something called sufganiyot, which are basically jelly donuts, powdered jelly donuts, that are a treat you get to have on Hanukkah. So that part, lighting the candles, all of that, playing dreidel, that's a fun little thing. It's a game, with and the Hanukkah gelt, which is a Jewish word, but it's basically like coins. But most people have the gold-covered chocolate coins. So all that, really fun. But the problem is, every Jewish holiday starts and ends at sundown. So and if you grew up in the South, it's not a thing. So I'm going to school every day, right? It's not, normally it'll happen, this year. The reason I bring this up is that the first night of Hanukkah is Christmas this year.
I thought it was at the beginning of December. It
often is, because it goes by the Jewish calendar. So sometimes it's at different times, right? And that's the other kind of FU about the holiday, is that if you're Jewish and you live amongst Christians, sometimes you do Hanukkah all by yourself for 8 nights and nobody gives a fuck. And then you're done and your presents are old and you've broken them already. And then Christmas happens and your whole neighborhood is having a blast and you're like, yeah, that's probably great. So that sucks. So what's good is the food is great. The singing the songs and hanging out and lighting the candles, that's festive. Waiting till sundown to do it sucks. And then the thing that I think is often overlooked and I think is a real problem fundamentally with Hanukkah for children is, let's say there's a toy you really want, right? For instance, one year when I was 8 or 9, I wanted this thing that came out, which was basically a tennis ball on a rubber band, so you could play tennis by yourself, and you'd hit it and it comes back. It was great. I was so excited to get it, and I got it, which was also kind of novel in my house, to get something you really, really, really wanted. But I got it, but it's already dark out. So I get it, I open it, can't play with it till tomorrow, and I got to go to school, right? Yeah. So that just sucks, right? And you get the present, you open the present, there it is, you can't play with it, and then you're done. That's the night.
Yeah.
Right? Just is not the same. So things that work about Christmas is you wake up, you get the anticipation of going to bed at night, and then you wake up the next morning and you walk out in the living room and, oh my God, Santa has brought all this stuff. That's brilliant, Christians. Really well done. That's exciting. That's overwhelmingly exciting. And then you open them up like at the crack of dawn, and then you got all your toys, and then you spend all Christmas Day playing. You don't have to go to school. You're not going to have to go to school for many days.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you eat and all the things. So by far, Christmas culturally is so much better than what my experience of Hanukkah has been. And so now I marry into Robbie's crazy family of lunatics.
Uh-huh.
And her mother, who you never met, and she died many years ago, but she was really amazing. So I go to Robbie's house for the first Christmas when I think we were just dating. And I have no idea what to expect. And so they don't celebrate Christmas, but they do everything on Christmas morning. There's no tree. There's no singing Christmas songs. There are the movies and stuff like that, but it's really just about the presents. And my mother-in-law, rest in peace and bless her soul, would spend every dollar she had and money she didn't have. And there was Robbie, her sister Susan, her brother Roger, her brother Gary, Gary's 2 kids, right? So many people. And each person had a designated piece of furniture in the living room. When I tell you the pile of gifts for each person, it was, the only word that comes up is like gluttony, like 10, 12 presents each, and not bullshit stocking stuffer things, like legit presents, like skis and boots and jacket and like ridiculous. Like, and it went, and so much so that in New Jersey where Robbie grew up, she had her house, which was sort of a hub. There was another house about a block and a half away where 2 of her uncles and aunts lived in a multifamily house. Mm-hmm. And then there were dozens of family members in that area. So morning would come, and when I say morning, because they'd stay up till like 4 a.m. wrapping presents. And then by 11, they would kind of do their thing. And then all of the family would come over to witness the spectacle that was my mother-in-law Dottie's Christmas extravaganza. They'd all do whatever they're doing. Some of them didn't do anything, and they'd come to watch the over-the-top experience that I then marry into and have to somehow fulfill for the rest of my life, mm-hmm. right? So for me, it became stress. But now my kids, and we basically our whole childhood, their whole childhood, we did both Christmas and Hanukkah. So we would kind of do stuff every night of Hanukkah, and then Christmas morning we'd have all the presents.
That was my best friend growing up.
Yeah.
Mom's side Hanukkah, dad's Christmas. So he got
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
So we, for a while, my kids, when they were really young, went to a Jewish day school, not because we were religious, but we had just moved back from New York, and it was the only school we could get into. And then our kids were really kind of religious because they were, going to school every day, and it was a thing, right? And so we didn't do Christmas, we did Hanukkah, but we did Hanukkah really big. And then we started to say, what if we do Hanukkah every night, light candles and eat the food and all that, but we don't do any presents, and we save all the presents for one morning, and let's just do that on Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. And then we're just like, that's it. That's the thing we're doing. And we love it. It's great fun. And so that's what we've been doing. But as of last year, all of my adult children said, Dad, you don't have to do, like what you do every year is too much. Like literally, not falsely, no, really. But no, really, it's too much. Like don't. Like 2 or 3 presents each is plenty. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to say that's what we're doing now more responsibly. But as you just heard from Robbie, if you hear her on the cell phone, you know where she is. She's still shopping. Like and everybody's, we've been done for a week, and she's still just going to town. And I've decided, why not? Why not? Let's just do it. But ultimately, I've come to enjoy the holiday very much for that reason. Now, there was a period of time where the Christmas season was really fun for me. When I was working in that restaurant, I may have mentioned when I met Robbie, I was singing and dancing at this dinner theater. And at Christmas, we did a Christmas show. And we would do like 3 a day, and it was grueling, but it was like 6 nights a week for the whole Christmas season. And we were making money, and it was fun. And those were probably the best Christmas experiences I had. It was just like, these were my family by choice. It wasn't really about any religion, but we were singing every night and dancing every night and, partying every night and having a great time. And so I kind of missed that aspect. But you know what? One of the traditions we do is we go to my buddy Smitty's house, Camping Smitty, whose brother
What's his
Todd.
nickname?
Huh?
His nickname. They all get nicknames, don't they? Which one?
Yeah,
The general, the doctor?
Yeah, he's the doctor.
Oh, the doctor. Okay.
You know why he's the doctor?
Because he's a doctor?
No. No, because sexually, he was the one who always told us things we needed to know about how to please. So he became the doctor. But his brother is Todd, who was my closest friend when we first met, and he's the one who saves rainwater to flush his toilet.
All right.
Yeah, very practical people.
Yeah.
Smitty, Big Smitty, because Todd was Smitty until we met Smitty, throws a party every Christmas Eve with all of his neighbors and his family, and then we go.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, Goldie and my daughter-in-law turned up that party to another level, and we'll never go back. Because it's a fun party, and we all drink and hang out and eat a bunch of food and, chat. And that's basically the thing, and everybody kind of calls it a night pretty early and whatever. And Goldie and Carissa were kind of throwing shade, and they were sitting in the kitchen not hanging out, and I don't know why. And on the counter was like this Alexa screen thing, and you can karaoke off of it. And Todd, flush the toilet, Todd, had a few. Greg Smitty, Big Smitty, had more than a few, so he was barely with us, and he was the host. But Todd comes into the kitchen, and Goldie just messing with him. Goldie and Carissa put on an REO Speedwagon song that he loves, and he started singing as hard as he could. And the next thing I know, this party turned into everybody clinking glasses and having a good time to 20 people in the kitchen singing till our throats bled every 1970s classic rock song we knew for hours on end, getting just shit-faced. And I pray to God we can recreate it, because it was an organic moment that just the whole party just exploded. And watching Todd, see, what's funny is Todd and Greg, if you were to see them on the street, they look like construction workers. They're, big Midwestern guys, emotions close to the vest. You would never, ever imagine that both of them were musical theater nerds when we were all 18, 19 years old, singing and dancing and wearing like a sweater vest and shit like that. So what's funny is my kids only know them as camping dude, construction dude, whatever. And the next thing you know, it's 4-part harmony, and they're singing and doing choreography and the whole thing. And I'm like, those are the guys I know, and that's how we connected. And my kids were just like, what is happening? Like what portal have we gone into where they showed their true colors? So I'm kind of psyched about that. That was also the party where 2 years ago I had I was going through, well, this was more than 2 years ago. It was several years ago. I was going through this sort of, as I'm often talking about, some sort of crisis of who am I? And I bought, on Amazon, a still, for making moonshine.
Yeah.
And I made moonshine in my backyard, several batches. The first batch may have killed people. But then it got pretty good, and I remember going to that party, and I brought a quart of what I turned into my own version of bourbon. I put oak chips in it, it turned the right color, and it tasted pretty good, but I really couldn't tell. And I brought it to the party, and my, Midwestern dudes are there. And I go out there, and we're all standing around smoking cigars, and I hand them this jar of moonshine I made. I said, and they've become kind of like bourbon aficionados a little bit. Not snobby, but they like a good bourbon. I said, I made this. Let me see what you think. Have a taste of this. And I went in the kitchen to make a plate, and I came back out to see what they thought. And when I came back out, the quart was gone. It took me days, weeks to make, and they drank it just gone and were just pie-faced afterwards. So I kind of want to bring the still out and make another batch. I don't think I have time. So that was a memory. That was a core memory that I love. And, So we'll go do that Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning will be the glut of stuff. But because Christmas and Hanukkah fall on the same night, instead of going somewhere else in the evening, like to my brother-in-law who is a Christian and has a big Christmas dinner, and they have carried on my mother-in-law Dottie's tradition of wrapping all night long. Like they don't finish wrapping their presents till 8 in the morning.
Wow.
And then they go to sleep till 2, and they do Christmas like at 6, right? Which is just wrong on so many levels. But and we usually go up there, but I think this year, because Hanukkah falls on the same night, that Robbie has really decided she wants to do like a big Hanukkah dinner, and we'll do the Christmas morning thing and then full on do Hanukkah at night. So I'm kind of psyched about that. I think it's going to be pretty good. So I got that going for me. I think it's going to be a good holiday. Pretty pumped. What are your traditions?
So my family never really had traditions, especially my mom moved to England, I moved out, so we were all separated for a long time. And there was a lot of Christmases there where I wouldn't do anything Christmas morning. I would just wake up and really not have anywhere to go. Maybe like a party I'd go to a couple days before, whatever.
It's all I can do to keep from holding you right now. Just holding you and rocking you.
Well, luckily I found a very beautiful partner with a very large family that's very into Christmas.
Same.
Yeah.
Right.
And so my wife's mother does Thanksgiving. She does big Thanksgiving. And then her sister, her mother's sister, her aunt, does Christmas. They're each in charge of like a thing.
Right.
So we do a big Christmas Eve party at her aunt's house where the whole family gets together, has a fun party. And then Christmas morning is spent at our house with, I have 2 kids. She has 2 brothers. One of those brothers has 3 daughters. So it's a whole bunch of people, and we all pile into the living room, and they make breakfast, open presents, stay, have dinner. So it's like two parties back to back in a row, sort of thing.
Nice.
So it's nice now.
It's nice to marry into some stuff and let the healing begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. So, I'm pretty psyched about it this year as opposed to dreading it as I have in the past. The other thing that's great that I now treasure is that the times where both my son and my daughter are in the same house with me are very rare. And the negotiation now between my son and his wife and what she needs to do with her family and wants to do and gets to do, and then my daughter is dating a guy that they're living together. It's a pretty real thing. And so kind of whose house are we going to, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
And so there's a little pressure for me this year because I want to make sure everybody gets what they want out of the holiday because it's so core for everybody. And Tucker, which is Goldie's boyfriend, and I don't have permission to talk about him on this podcast, but fuck it, I'm the dad. And they're not married yet, so you have to be nice to me. But I love this kid. I call him Tucky Bear.
Yeah.
Which he probably hates, but I don't fucking care.
All the more reason to call him that.
All the more reason. So he is from New Hampshire. I've met his family, and I can only imagine that whatever his Christmas traditions are so different than ours and so pure and wholesome because they live in literally a winter wonderland. They live 3 hours deep into the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It's always, white Christmas, and they live in the woods, and it's like everything looks like what you imagine Christmas in the 1700s would look like. And so I'm a little concerned that he's coming to our house, which is the first time he's coming to our house, and I want to make sure he gets what he needs out of this without feeling sad. But then also, fuck it. You're going to have to just be a good guy. But it's so stupid because he doesn't have any expectation. He's such a good guy, and that'll be fine. So I'm really looking forward to having a very full house. I'll have Robbie and me, and then Morgan and Carissa, Goldie and Tucker, our 2 dogs, Carissa and Morgan's gigantic Irish Wolfhound, and a gazillion presents, and also latkes. So it's going to be, Wahlberg House is going to be Christmas rocking.
Yeah. Well, what about New Year's? What do you do for New Year's?
Well, there's a problem.
Uh-oh.
and it's an ongoing negotiation and already drama. So going back to the dinner theater, when I worked, the best New Year's Eves ever, because we would do a first show, people would leave, and then we'd do a second show that started at like 8. People would come in and they do dinner, and then we do our show, and the show would come down about 11:45, and then we were still working but not, and we'd do the countdown, and then New Year's Eve would happen, and our band would be the band, and people would just go crazy, and we'd party till 4 a.m. And it was the greatest New Year's Eves ever because I didn't have to plan it. I was it. We were it, right? Now, Robbie, as you know, and by the way, today, the day we're recording this, and I can do this because I think we've talked about this, Robbie is celebrating 41 years of being sober today. 41 years. So
pretty good.
Big appreciation to Robbie for keeping it real for 41 years. So in the recovering addict alcoholic world, New Year's Eve is called amateur night, where everybody gets shit-faced because that's what you do. And that just doesn't feel right to her. It's not really the vibe. And to be honest with you, like, I like to rage in certain situations. Like, I like a good party and I will rage, but New Year's Eve is not my jam. It's pressure. Getting to it in time, traffic, what do you wear? The whole pressure of making it like the greatest night ever is kind of bullshit, right? And so that's difficult. Then you got Morgan and Carissa who want to do whatever they want to do, and then Goldie wants to do whatever she wants to do, and the three parts of this triangle never really want to do the same thing, but we all kind of want to be together. So I'm trying to give everybody permission that, look, this doesn't have a lot of meaning. If like for Robbie and I'm hearing how old this sounds, but I don't care. For Robbie and I, it's like, let's go to dinner. Let's have a really nice dinner, and let's go home, and let's watch some, ball drop or something on TV and say some cool shit and kiss at midnight and, I don't know, maybe bang it out and call it a night. Not all of those things will come true, but that would be perfect New Year's Eve for me. Morgan's and Carissa's vibe has been, I don't want to be at a big thing. I'd like to be in the woods or someplace like that. So one year we all went camping over New Year's Eve, and that could have been an incredible tradition, except it was fucking horrible. Morgan and I had a great time, but I don't think anybody else did. Yeah. We went to Big Sur camping New Year's Eve, and it poured, and it was freezing, and we're like doing everything we can to keep the fire going and keep food going. And what I realized is that for Morgan and me, like, we camp and we're good at it, and so we're cutting wood and we're cooking and we're making fire and playing with our toys and everything. And the rest of them are sitting waiting for us to put food down, and they're just sitting around a fire trying not to be wet and cold and trying to keep a good spirit about things, right? Yeah. So I had hoped that was going to be a yearly thing. Not so much. No. So I think we're going to have some drama, because I think last I checked, and I haven't mentioned it, like Morgan and Carissa kind of said, we have something we want to do for New Year's Eve, and we'll hang out during the day, and that'll be great, and then New Year's Eve we're going to go do this thing. But Tucker and Goldie are going to be in town, and I think they probably are thinking we're all going to, the four of them are going to, what I want is the four of them to go to a bar or something and rage and have a great time, and then Robbie and I won't, and everybody's happy. Yeah. But now I feel some sort of pressure to make sure that everybody's getting what they want out of New Year's Eve, and it's just not going to happen. No. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I'm just trying to, de-escalate the drama, and hopefully everybody will figure it out. Everybody's adults; they'll figure it out. What do you do? Like, do you like to rage?
I used to be a big rager. I used to go to New Year's Eve raves.
Okay.
That was my thing for a while.
I could see you with like glow sticks.
Oh, not just glow sticks. I used to have these, they're like white gloves.
Please,
paint
the picture.
And you put different colored lights into each of the fingers.
Yes.
And then you walk up to people on drugs, and then you give them like a light show with your gloves. And I used to do that at the raves.
That's worth it for me. I would come out of retirement to see you with the white gloves. That alone would be a reason to be.
I got pictures. I'll show them to you after the show.
Okay. If you throw them up on the YouTube, that would not be terrible.
I don't know. And
Because I'll hold that against you for the rest of your life.
people would pay me too. I would do that for you. I mean, they're all on ecstasy, so they'd be like, "Here, have some money for this," and I'd be like, "Okay," There'd be
Your side hustle is freaking out like shrooming, tripping.
Ecstasy is what the light people like.
Yeah.
But people would get in lines. They wait in lines. They'd be like, "Hey, can you do me next?" I'd be like, "Sorry, I got this person." They'd be like, "Here's $20, do that."
It's like a face painting booth.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would like make my money back from the night doing these light shows for people.
I love that. I love that people will pay to get somebody to just fuck with their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do. So I used to be a big rager. And the last couple years, it's gotten just, I had kids.
Yeah.
They're 4 and 5 now. So, and they go to sleep well before the. Yeah,
you show them the East Coast feed and then send them to bed.
Yeah, pretty much. And so last year was the first year where I actually did something of substance, which was when I proposed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So
how you follow that up?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to, but it was good because my fiance loves Christmas. It's like her favorite. And I was trying to like figure out a way to do it during Christmas time, and it just wasn't happening. I was like, oh, I didn't want to do it in front of everybody. I told you like the whole family gets together.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was like sitting there when that was happening, like there's too many people here for this. I don't want to. I don't want to. I know she's going to say yes, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, right. It's too performative. It's like, yeah.
So, but luckily the tree was still up through New Year's.
Nice.
So, yeah, I put on some Christmassy music and then I proposed on.
Well, that's very romantic and lovely and intimate.
Yeah.
I like it. And then did you freak her out with the gloves?
Yeah, she's seen the gloves. I don't think she's a fan of the gloves.
She made her peace with the gloves. Yeah. So this year, what are you going to do?
Have not thought about it for a second.
Great.
But I imagine it will be staying at home and watching movies with the kids.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, no.
I got to be honest with you, I kind of dig New Year's Day more than New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Like I love New Year's Day. It's just such a great stop the clocks and there's no pressure. Although the looming January 2nd ultimate Sunday scary of the year.
Yeah.
But I'm not playing. But it's also for us is a thing because Morgan's birthday is January 4th, so it sort of rolls past. But this year's great because Morgan and Carissa just moved back to California. They just bought a place. They closed next week, which is really, really exciting for them. It's like an end of what has been a really rough chapter for them that I just can't talk about. But thank God everything's great, and Goldie and Tucker are going to stay until the 2nd or 3rd, which is kind of cool. And so, I think that's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I'm not a big fan of resolutions. Like we've talked about winter arc here, and I get that.
I'm in the middle of my winter arc. Are you still holding up?
I've been working out.
Okay.
I have been taking my supplements I'm supposed to take.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I'm winter arcing. I've been journaling every day.
Yeah.
I've been going to the gym more than I haven't, which has been good, although I got some physical stuff. I got a hip thing I got to deal with that's making it hard. But, I've been kind of arcing. Yeah. I mean, it's not a high arching arc. But
I've fallen off a couple days.
A little bit?
Yeah. There's been some speed bumps.
Yeah? What were the arc choices again for you?
Oh, mine is eating healthy and working out. So
a couple drive-thrus have hit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been like a weekend or two that I've fallen off for the entire weekend, and then I get back on afterwards.
Yeah, I found with working out, if I go, I want to keep going. If I take 2 or 3 days off, I fall back into I can't get myself to the gym.
Well, the problem with me is like my schedule's so busy, and I have young kids that the only time I can go is after they go to bed at like 8:30 or 9 at night when I'm burned out. That's the only time I can do it, and I've been forcing myself to, but it's tough.
Yeah, and then you come back from the gym at that time. It's kind of hard to wind
down.
Hard
to fall asleep afterwards.
Yeah. I've been going. I finally found a gym that I dig. I got a routine. I got over the how does this machine work? Embarrassment. Morgan is way into working out, like hardcore into it and on a whole thing. I worked out with him one day, and he was teaching me all this stuff, and I couldn't walk days afterwards. But yeah, I've been pretty good about it. Goldie's doing great with hers. Morgan's doing great with what he's been doing, and I have done well. I can see a difference. I mean, I feel different, and I'm glad. But I think it's much better to do that winter arc vibe, which is like saying I'm going to do this for this month, than to say starting January 1st I'm going to blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because it's just a setup. I don't believe in it. But anyway, I'm kind of psyched to one complete this year. It's been a fine year. We've been healthy. On the big check marks have been great. Thank God.
Yeah.
But other things have been slow and frustrating and not the way timing wise I want them. But so I always love the completion of the year and the possibility of what the new year could bring.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of psyched about that. My real big goal in 2025 is to shoot in the 70s on the golf course.
Okay.
On my never-ending quest to be Mark Wahlberg with an H. I'm going to be going to the gym and shooting in the 70s, and then the circle will be complete. And then I can reach out and say, now I have something to talk to you about. But
Start praying.
Pardon me?
Start praying.
I will pray. I really don't think I will ever crack that nut. I'm just not that good at it. But I keep trying. All right, so that's it. I wish you the best holiday and New Year's. If you're hearing this after New Year's, I hope you had a great holiday and New Year's. But here's the thing I want to leave you with. I really think this is important. Just dial it down. It's just a holiday. There's no expectation. Try to find the part of it you like, and the parts that you don't like and you feel obligated to do, don't fucking do it, right? That's not what it's about. And then, again, here's my little chunk of cheese for you. You can do the traditional thing of being kind to other people. Like, do that. Realize that the people you're running into are really stressed, and just try to be the person that leads with a little bit of kindness because, man, I know you can feel it, that we're in a place in the world where it's not so pretty. So I guess that's my thing. Let's just try to just have a little space, a little grace, and be a little kinder in 2025 and see if we can't get through everything together as things race past us. So there you have it. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, even though it's only okay. So eat a latke and open a present, and I'll see you in 2025.